Hello there. My name is Mariah. Welcome back to Mariah's Little Life. Today is Friday, July 3rd. That means that it is the start of Summerween 2026. Summerween 2026 is going from July 3rd or today to July 9th, and it's being hosted by Gabby from Gabby Reads. I will leave Gabby's channel down below. She explains everything and tells you about the prompts and the Discord and I think like Instagram and things like that too. I may not participate in all of that, but I'll definitely be doing a reading vlog for Summerween. But yeah, I will leave Gabby's channel link down below so you can go and check her out. You'll have already seen my Summerween slash July TBR before now. And some of the books that I had on there, I have started already today. So I'm excited about that. Earlier today, I started It's Not Her by Mary Kupika, and I actually finished this book. First of all, I don't know if I'm saying the name correctly or not. Please help me if I'm not. But I did finish this earlier today. This book, I wasn't expecting that ending, like that like epilogue, I guess. It's not really called the epilogue, but basically it's at that point in the book it's the epilogue. I was not expecting it at all. This book follows Courtney, and Courtney and her family and her brother and his family go on like vacation together. So each family kind of rents their own cabin, pretty much cabin in the woods. They have like no cell reception, the Wi-Fi is terrible and all of that, but they're supposed to be going out there to like, get away and relax and all that other stuff. It turns very deadly very quickly. Courtney ends up seeing the bodies of her brother and sister-in-law. Her sister-in-law actually was her best friend before she was her sister-in-law. So I think it hurts even more because this was your best friend and your sister-in-law and your brother. And when she finds them dead, she also cannot find her niece. She has no idea where her niece is. Her niece is like 17. She has no idea where she is. This book is full of trying to figure out who unalived her brother and her best friend turned sister-in-law, and why, nobody knows anything, but also where in the world is her niece? Where is Reese? And we go through this whole book trying to figure out why. Of course, we need answers to all these things. And Courtney is kind of in the middle of it, and she is placing blame where it shouldn't be. She's questioning everything, she's doubting everything, and she is so full of hurt and grief and a bit of anger. She cannot think straight for the majority of this book. And that it was real. There was a very real part of it because she did the human thing of questioning everything, doubting everything, being scared, being angry. It was so much of that emotion just kind of packed into Courtney's character. And I enjoyed reading from her. She didn't seem super unreliable, but she could be frustrating to read from sometimes because she had so many conflicting emotions going on. And half of the time you're just like, Courtney, why are you not thinking this through? But like I said, she's hurting, she's grieving, she's sad, she's upset. She's not going to make the best decisions. She's not going to make the best calls. She's going to do things out of frustration or sadness or everything else during this time because she just lost two people who are very near and dear to her. And her nephew, she can't figure him out at all. And her niece, like I said, she's still nowhere to be found for the majority of this book. And we finally do find the niece. The niece is okay, but we finally found her. And when everything unfolds and you figure out why the brother and sister-in-law were unalived, you're just like, what in the world? But yes, I did enjoy this, and I definitely will be picking up something else from this author in the future. After I finished It's Not Her, I did go ahead and start the audio for Witch Queen Rising by Savannah Stevens. This is Savannah Stevens' debut novel. It does not feel like a debut novel. This feels like at least novel like number five. Like it's good. It's This feels like a book that you pick up from an author you know you're going to enjoy because you've read and enjoyed all the other books that they've written. I am definitely a little bit sad that it's getting later at night and I can't just truly sink my teeth into this and get at least halfway through this, but I am going to need to go to bed soonish. So I did have to go ahead and put it down. But I made it to chapter 12, page 113. I needed a little sip. By the way, before I tell you what Witch Queen Rising is about, look at my cool, like, Summerween cup. I love it. I got this from Sip Sip Hooray. I will leave that link down below as well. But I thought this would be the coolest thing. I bought this like a month ago, month and a half ago, I think, and I'm just now using it. But I thought it would be the perfect time to use it for Summerween. So prepare to be sick of seeing this tumbler in my video. Anyway, back to the book. Witch Queen Rising is about Seraphine, and Seraphine has been away from her family in her hometown in New Orleans, Louisiana, for the past like 10 years. I don't actually know why she's left home just yet. I don't think we're far enough into the book to really understand or to really know why she left home. I I'm having some like I'm having a few like guesses on why she left home when she did and how she did, but I don't know yet the full story of why she left home. But she has been away from her home uh for the past like 10 years, and so much has changed um in that time, of course. But she has moved on and tried to live her life and do things that she enjoys without the like pressure of her family name. Her family is a long line of witches that are powerful and have held the position of power for so long. And she just doesn't want that. She just doesn't want that for herself. Her mom has recently passed away, and as soon as she passed on, Seraphine knew it. Like she knew her mom passed on. She could feel the power. Um, she could feel it when she left, like when she passed on. Seraphine is now the prime. She never wanted to be the prime. She is known as the tick witch. People are used to her sucking their powers away or taking away from them. Say for instance, a witch has a really good ability of like making gardens grow. Well, Seraphine could possibly touch that witch and draw her power away, and Seraphine could end up with that power while that witch may end up hurt. And so many people are reluctant to have anything to do with Seraphine because of this. It's like she can take, but also give a bit at the same time. But people are so used to her taking everything away, they don't understand that she can actually give some of herself too. So it's so much judgment that she has to endure in the past and present day. I cannot wait to pick this back up tomorrow. Like I said, I'm definitely gonna cool it on the reading tonight because I need to go to bed. Hello there, welcome back. Happy Saturday and also happy 4th of July. And even if you're not celebrating 4th of July, I still hope you're having a really good Saturday. So I think before I went to bed last night, I did say that I was going to start The Mysterious Affair at Styles by Agatha Christie before I went to bed. I did start this. I read the first chapter and I started on chapter 2, but then I fell asleep. And I don't know if I stopped on page 17 or 18. So I'm going to just restart chapter 2 and just, pick up from there later on this evening. But I do want to talk a little bit about this. And honestly, I don't know if I will just talk about this book in terms of how I'm feeling about it, or if I would just go into spoilers. I don't know. But I'm going to try not to spoil the entire book for, for anybody who hadn't read it. So for chapter 1, we get introduced to I feel like everybody else besides our main character, or at least the narrator of this story. We get introduced to so many people in the first chapter. So of course we know there's Poirot. Am I saying it right? I am from the backwoods of Alabama, and now I live in Georgia. So honestly, me saying things wrong with my southern accent, that's just a regular day in my life. So forgive me if I'm not pronouncing everything correctly. But we of course we got Poirot because he's the detective in the book. But we also get introduced to, let's see, Mrs. Cavendish, Mr. Cavendish. We have, who else? Lawrence and John. And if I'm not mistaken, Lawrence and John are brothers, and Mrs. Cavendish is their mother, I think. And then there's a character called Evie and Alfred. And if I'm not mistaken, our narrator for this book is Mr. Hastings. I don't actually know Mr. Hastings' first name. I may get that later. I hope I hadn't missed it in the first chapter what his first name is, but I'm pretty sure Mr. Hastings is the narrator's name. There's also Mary Cavendish, who I think is John's wife. Um, and I don't even know who else. I feel like I'm absolutely missing somebody else. And I'm honestly wondering, like, oh gosh, like, how am I supposed to keep up with all these people? So far, I mean, I'm liking it, not loving it, but I'm only like 16, 17 pages into the book. So, I mean, it's not a whole lot to go off of. I do have more to say about Witch Queen Rising by Savannah Stevens. I actually just finished this book like half an hour ago, maybe. And this this was so different than what I thought it was going to be honest. And not in a bad way, but it was just different than what I was expecting. I really thought stepping into this book that I was going to get just a black witch coming back into her hometown and dealing with one issue, and just trying to, like that be the main plot of the story, which it was. But along the way, there's so many big things like that came into it. She went on such a journey to get to where she was in the epilogue of this book. I really, really enjoyed this. I really, really enjoyed this. I think that this was very dark, very gothic, very, in a way, pretty gory, honestly. There was a whole lot of things going on in this book that I wasn't truly expecting. I'm flipping through the book to find the content warning page, and I see books by Savannah Stevens, Blood and Magic duology, Witch Queen Rising. So this is book 1 of a duology. My goodness. I mean, if I had have just explored the front part of the book, I would have figured it out long before now. I will read the content warning aloud, just so you know what you're walking into if you do want to pick this book up. Just putting it out there. But the content warning: assault, blood and mild gore, body horror, death, emotional and physical abuse by a parent, guns, physical injury, suggestive language, violence, and mentions but no depictions of death of children, miscarriage, and sexual assault. And honestly, just to put it out there, Fiend's mother was the abusive person. She was terrible. In life and death, she was terrible. And I couldn't stand her from the beginning of the book to the end of the book. She didn't change. And I think if you go into this knowing that she won't change, I don't think you'll be that shocked. She's one of those characters that you might hope to see a little bit of redemption from, but you never get it. And so when it happened, or when it just kind of kept going on, I was just like, at this point, why do you even have dialogue? Because her mother was so frustrating to me, and she took so much away from like enjoying a pretty decent scene because of what she would say to Fiend. And Seraphine was and she was so much of an outcast for so many years of her life because of her mother. Like it was the mom's fault. And she could never be who she was. She could never be, just regular old Fiend. She had to be something more, something greater because of who her mother was. And that was so much to live up to. And it's not to say that we shouldn't live up to, great things in our parents' eyes or in others' eyes. But at the same time, like give your kids a break. Let them just be kids. Let them just be who they are. And her mother never accepted that. I think Fiend tried for so long to be what her mother wanted her to be, and she realized that nothing she did was ever going to be good enough for her mother. And even to the point now where the reason why Fiend is now Prime, that's that wasn't supposed to happen the way it happened. Like it wasn't supposed to pass from Fiend's mother to onto her. It was supposed to go to a different house. And the reason why the titles went to Fiend instead of someone else got revealed. And I was like, that's still not her fault. It's still not her fault. Had you not done what had the mother, had she not done what she did, Fiend would not be in that position. She was like, her mother was like, you weren't supposed to return. You weren't supposed to be Prime. You weren't supposed to be this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's your fault why she's going through what she's going through now. It's your fault why she went through so much of what she's already been through. It is your fault. And her mother is not going to accept that responsibility. She's just going to blame everything on Fiend. And so many people throughout this book blame, especially like the first half, so many people blame so many bad things on Fiend. And so much of it wasn't initially her fault. And I think you just find yourself being frustrated with so many people while reading this book. And I think that maybe that's intended. And I have no idea when the second book will come out in this duology. And I also have no idea what the second book is called even. But hopefully I can figure out what that is and be on the lookout for the second book in this duology. I really, really enjoyed this book. Really, really enjoyed this book. Savannah Stevens did not write this book as if she was a debut author. I don't know if, I don't know where she came from. I really had a good time reading this book. So much fun reading this book. I definitely will be picking up whatever the next book is in this duology, and possibly whatever Savannah Stevens writes in the future, because this was amazing for a debut book. Absolutely adored it. Sunday. I am back with a little bit of an update. I am 74 pages into the mysterious affair at Styles. Mrs. Inglethorpe has kicked the bucket, and of course, Poirot is going to be investigating. Poirot just started to investigate the case in chapter 4, which is called Poirot Investigates. And he has found all these little clues and all the things that our main character or the narrator, Mr. Hastings, has missed. And Mr. Hastings is pretty much talking to himself like, I didn't see that there. I didn't notice that. I'm like, well, you're not the detective, so it's okay if you didn't, notice everything. But Mr. Hastings does fancy himself as good of a detective as Poirot. So he's kind of like internally comparing himself to Poirot. And he keeps saying like Poirot is older, or like in his old age. He's forgotten something, or maybe he's I forgot what word he used, but basically maybe he's just pretty much delusional or just missing the mark or just too old to remember what's going on. Um but I feel like Poirot has a different way of getting to the point and like figuring out things than other people do. And usually that's why he's on the case for most of these things. And I'm wondering like why are you putting it on his age? You just admitted to yourself, mind you, he didn't say it out loud, but you just admitted that you missed some things that you wouldn't have thought of it. So I'm like, how are you going to pin that something on Poirot's age? I don't know. You miss some things too. You can't just say he's older and that's the reason why. But there is this running theory that the coffee has been poisoned and that's what killed Mrs. Inglethorpe. But there's also cocoa involved because every night she would have cocoa and the like service from the kitchen would fix it, and then one of her like ladies maids, she would come and actually bring Miss Inglethorpe the cocoa each night. She did notice that there was like salt or something around on the tray in the area where she would place Mrs. Inglethorpe's cocoa for the night. She noticed it, but she just thought it was table salt, so she just wiped it off with her apron or towel or whatever she had. She just wiped it off. But in Hastings' mind, oh, that was bits of the poison that was mixed into the cocoa. So he goes, so it wasn't even the coffee, it was the cocoa. And I'm like, well, which one is it? Because I'm like, did she have the coffee or did she have the cocoa or did she have both? How would she be the only one that is poisoned? Because would you like how would you put it in her cup specifically is what I want to know if that was the case. Like if you poisoned her when everybody was having coffee all together, how would you know that it was in her cup and only in her cup? Because you definitely can't put it in the pot of coffee, then everybody would be poisoned. But Mrs. Inglethorpe was known to constantly change her will. She updated her will at least once a year. And in her last will, I think, her latest one, I think she named the eldest of her stepchildren as the sole, like, beneficiary. And that was John. But the other brother, he didn't get anything. And I was like, well, what about Lawrence? It seems logical to give the oldest kid the like authority to like do whatever with the money or whatever's left over in her will. It seems logical because maybe he could, give money to Lawrence or, give to charity or whatever else she wanted on her behalf in the event of her passing. But I'm like, you wanted just one stepchild to have it. You didn't even split it up because some people will make a will and they will name like the people in the will and then what they should get. or what, what they will be awarded. But for her, in her case, or in this particular will that they found, only John is the beneficiary. And I'm like, why isn't Lawrence getting a little something? Because you have two living stepchildren. Like, so both of your stepsons should have been on there. So why was it only just one though? That's questionable. And on the other hand, if she has her will, she's got her wills and all her important paperwork in this purple like briefcase or whatever, and she carries it, brings it down with her in the morning and takes it back up with her at night before she goes to bed. And there's two keys to it. One of the keys was lost, and then I think Poro found the other key. But money or like whatever in the will, that's definitely the motive for them taking out Mrs. Inglethorpe. I feel like it being John will be super, super obvious. So maybe it won't be. Um, because then it just be too obvious because he stands to inherit so much from Mrs. Inglethorpe. I just kind of feel like maybe it won't be. But yeah, I'm definitely going to read some more of this. I'm probably going to, let's see, what time is it? It's 10:49 now, so I probably won't update anymore tonight. I'll probably just update a little bit more in the morning, or whenever I can tomorrow. But I do want to go ahead and finish the chapter that I'm on. Chapter 5 is a bit of a long chapter. It went from like page 63, no, 62. So chapter 5 went from page 62 all the way to 94. So a little bit of a longer chapter. But yeah, like I said, I'm on page 74, so I'm going to relax a little bit more and read the rest of chapter 5 and then be ready to pick up chapter 6 tomorrow. I am going to go ahead and uh, finish getting ready for bed, and I'm going to sit and read a little bit of that, and I will check back in with you later. Hello there, and happy Monday. It is 9:44 at night. I have not read a single page today. Uh, in my defense, I had an appointment this afternoon, and my husband actually had to take me to my appointment. And of course, our children went with us. And after that, we just hung out together as a family, really. We had lunch out and went into a couple stores and all that good stuff. So we had a really nice day out. We just didn't get home with a whole lot of time for me to read. And that's okay. But I did want to stick with it with this Summerween readathon. I really wanted to stick to reading a pretty good bit each day. And I didn't quite, like meet that goal today. So I'm going to try not to beat myself up about it. But it does mean that I do have a little bit of more catching up to do tomorrow. So hopefully I can do that. But I will say I tried to finish what is this, chapter 5. I made a little bit further than my last update before I went to bed last night, but I didn't quite finish chapter 5. I got so confused because the audiobook cut out um like almost 3 pages of the text, and I was I was so lost. I had to I kept like skipping back and rewinding it. Like, am I dozing off and I'm missing what he's saying? But no, the audiobook just doesn't have from page 80, right here on page 80. So right there on page 80, the audiobook cuts out, and so it doesn't say any of this page, none of this page, and it hops back in right here. I was like, what is happening? So I don't know if that's just because of the addition that I have or what, but I had to eventually just like realized that I needed to rewind where I was, pause the book, physically read this, and then the audiobook pick back up back on page 83. But that's like I'm missing a good bit, out of the audiobook. And I feel like if I didn't have the physical book with this, maybe I would have missed something. Maybe I wouldn't have. Who knows? Maybe it's not that important to the story. The reason why it got cut out, I don't really know. Also, we're not worried about the hair tonight. I had it all pinned up and cute, and the bobby pins were hurting my head, so I just took them all out, and this is what we have for the night. But we're about to go to bed, so it doesn't matter anyway. And you know what? We're all friends here, so there you go. But in the morning, what I want to try to do is get up and start tidying up a little bit around the house. And I'll probably listen to one of my audiobooks then, or most likely I'll listen to Samantha Spook then. But that's what I want to try to do tomorrow, and just try to tidy up a little bit around the house because Wednesday is my birthday, and I won't be doing anything productive for my birthday if I'm being completely honest. I might get up and cook breakfast, if that, and I'll only be doing that because I know my husband will be at work and I need to feed my kids. But I am rambling a little bit right now. I am going to try and read for at least the next hour. Hopefully, I can get through the next hour and read a little bit and be finished reading by 11 so I can actually get a little bit more sleep and be ready to get up in the morning to tidy up and all the things. If I'm not able to check back in right before I go to bed tonight, I will check back in the morning. So either way, I'll see you later. Hello there. Welcome back. It is Wednesday. It is also my birthday. Happy birthday to me. And also happy birthday to anyone else whose birthday is July 8th today. So happy birthday to you too. But I have not updated since Monday, and I really wanted to update because I have finished a couple of things and made a little bit of progress in one of my other books. So I figured it's about time for an update. So the two books that I finished since I last updated are Samantha Spook, Paranormal Wedding Planner. I think this is by Elise Lynn, is how you say the name. I really enjoyed this. This is like spoopy. It's got some spooky elements to it, but it's really not anything scary. It's definitely very, very cozy, very like you get the Halloween vibes, but in a very fun way. And I really did enjoy this so very much. I did not want to put this down because I was laughing and having a good time, and yeah, I just really like this book. I think that this one is great when you just want something kind of quick and fun to pick up, especially if you can listen to the audiobook, which is what I was able to do. But yeah, it was really, really good. I cannot wait to read something else by this author. And the next book that I did finish was Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Ibanez. I have read several books by this author actually. She wrote like Where the Library Hides and what is the other one? What the River Knows. This one is earlier than like What the River Knows and What the Library Hides. This one is earlier than those. This one is a bit darker, so maybe this one could be like older teens, new adults. I definitely don't think like 13, like younger like that should pick this up, just because it's a little bit darker. It's not vulgar or just like, people are just doing it on every other page. But this one's more like I said, older teen, new adult. But I really did enjoy this. I think that this one was actually a really nice book for Summerween. It had it was more mysterious and also political, but it was a little bit on the gruesome side with the fighting and everything going on. So I think that this one was nice for it. I wouldn't necessarily say that this is like a spooky Halloween type read, but this one's a little bit more, um, just a little bit darker in theme. with what was going on. But I definitely recommend both of these. I had a good time reading both of these books. So much fun. I then started Written in Starlight. This one is the sequel to Woven in Moonlight. This one does follow like a side character from Woven in Moonlight. So it is definitely recommended, I think, to read Woven in Moonlight first before you pick up this one. I only got to like 30, yeah, 36 pages of this. Before I put the audiobook down, I was just sleepy and I didn't want to read anymore without knowing what was going on, because I definitely would have dozed off and been confused as to what was happening in the book. So I just paused my reading there at 36 pages. But I am going to pick this back up when I'm kind of like bustling around the house in need of audiobook on while I'm doing some tidying up or whatever else. So I do want to finish this before Summerween, but also I'm not super pressed to finish it because it wasn't actually on my TBR. But I am enjoying it so far. I just don't love the main character of this one. And I think it's just going to take a little bit longer for me to get into her as a main character. I just didn't love her that much from book one, but I did have book two and I wanted to continue and see what I thought of her. But yeah, I really enjoy this author's writing anyway, so I just wanted to give it a chance. I did not make any progress in Murder by Cheesecake. I am still on page 34. So I haven't made any progress in this. And this one was on my TBR for Summerween. I want to hang out with my family, of course. So I don't know how much of this I will get read tonight, but I do want to read like for maybe an hour. It's 4:33 right now. So if I finish my update and everything, I should be able to read like an hour maybe before my husband gets off work and I can like hang out with him some. I've already hung out with my boys today. We went out in town and we actually bought some books. I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, so probably gonna be hanging out with my boys, all my boys, when my husband gets off work. So I don't know how much physical reading I'll get done. So that's kind of still on the back burner for right now, which is okay. I'll get to it. And then I did make some progress in The Mysterious Affair at Styles from the last time I updated. I didn't read this yesterday at all. I just audiobooked all day yesterday. But I am on page 144 of this now, and I don't know what is going on between Poirot and Hastings. I don't know what's going on between those two, because I'm like, I thought y'all was friends. I thought y'all were friends. And I thought y'all were cool. But it seems like Poirot doesn't quite trust Hastings with things. And I don't know if he has a reason for that or not. And I also don't know if I'm just reading a little bit too much into it. I don't know. I could be reading a little bit too much into it. So on page 143, I'm not gonna read the whole page because I don't want to spoil anything, but I do want to read this bit right here. Um, you and Miss Howard seem to know what you're talking about, I observed coldly. Perhaps you don't realize that I am still in the dark. Really? Is that so, mon ami? Yes. Enlighten me, will you? Poirot studied me attentively for a moment or two. Then, to my intense surprise, he shook his head decidedly. No, my friend. Oh, look here. Why not? Two is enough for a secret. I'm like, dang, Poirot. I thought they were your friend. You keep calling him mon ami. I'm like, doesn't that mean friend? When you think of something, or when Poirot thinks of something, he is so hesitant to share those details and things with Hastings. And I'm wondering why. Why is it? Because if y'all are friends and you're, kind of like going through this together and trying to pull these clues together to solve the case of like what happened with Mrs. Inglethorpe, then why not share those details with Hastings? So it is time for a little bit of a birthday book haul. I have a couple of books from my mother-in-law uh first, and then the rest of them I bought with my own money. Yeah. But at least I got some stuff on sale. But the first book that I got, and I was so excited about it, and then I opened the box just now, and Amazon absolutely let me down because I had to tape all of this. My cover is ripped. This first page was ripped, and it was all bent and wonky in the box. And of course, they didn't put any soft anything in the box, so my book is all bent up and everything, and I'm real sad about it. But I do have a copy of The Light of All That Falls by James Arlington. This is book 3 in the Lycanus trilogy. I just finished An Echo of Things to Come not too long ago, so I'm excited to have this. And the next book that I got from my mother-in-law is Death on the Lanai by Rachel Ekstrom Courage. This is actually book 2 in this series. The first one is Murder by Cheesecake, and then the second one is Death on the Lanai. And I'm so excited to read this one. Of course, I'm not finished with Murder by Cheesecake just yet, but I am excited to have this. I am not sure if I will wait till like October, like actual spooky season, to pick this up or not. I have no idea. But nonetheless, I am excited to have this. I am looking forward to reading this as well. So thank you to my mother-in-law for gifting me those 2 books. My boys and I went to Barnes & Noble earlier this month and picked up some books. So I did like half my book shopping like on the 2nd, I think, of this month, and then half of it today. What I went in there for was this, The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillick. I got The Night and the Moth because I really enjoyed One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillick, and I just wanted to pick this up. Also, this one has really, really pretty sprayed edges all the way around. Sprayed and stenciled, I'm guessing, or painted on. I don't know how they got them, but they're really pretty edges on that book. But yeah, I really wanted to read this, and I know the sequel comes out in like September, October, or something like that. So hopefully I can possibly get to this soon-ish to see if I want to maybe pre-order book 2. I don't know. We'll see about it when I actually get to it. Next up, I got Poirot Investigates. This one is book 3 in this collection. I think this one's called the official authorized editions of these books. I could not find The Murder on the Links. I couldn't find that one, but I also found The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, and I think that's 4. I didn't get it, but I was very tempted. I was very tempted to get this one and The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, but I did leave that one at the store. I really wanted books 2 and 3 so I can like continue with the Poirot like stories, but I didn't see book 2, Murder on the Links, in there. But I did see Poirot Investigate, so I'm excited to pick this one up. Then I found Metal Slinger by Rachel Schneider, I guess is how I hope it's how you pronounce that. But I just hear people talk about this one. Honestly, I just hear people talk about this one like on Book Talk and BookTube, and I really just wanted to pick it up, to be honest. And I probably could have picked this one up in I probably could have picked this up on like Kindle Unlimited, honestly, but I wanted the physical copy of it, and I saw it in the store. It was one on the shelf, and in my mind, they were saving that one copy for me, so I picked it up, brought it home. The next 2 that I have are actually sequels in romance series that I've already read the first books to. So I got The Art of Loving You by Natasha Bishop. I read Just for the Week, I think is the title of that one, by Natasha Bishop, and it was so good. I really enjoyed it so very much, and I just cannot wait to read something else by her in this world. I'm assuming that some of these characters I've already met in the first book, and I don't quite remember everybody's names like right off the top of my head. I probably have to read a little bit before I remember who people are. But yeah, I know this is gonna be following a different couple, So that's going to be nice, to follow a different couple, but also meet some characters that were already in the first book. So yeah, I'm excited to read this one. I'm excited to pick that up. And then the next one I got was Plus Size Player by Danielle Allen. um Curvy Girl Summer was the first in this series, and I really enjoyed it so much. And I love how confident both the main character in Curvy Girl Summer and Just for the Week, the first of this series, I love how confident those main characters were. They really had that main character energy, honestly, and I really really loved it so very much. So I'm excited to pick up Plus Size Player. The third book to this series, Big Girl Blitz, I was going to get both Plus Size Player and Big Girl Blitz from Barnes and Noble, but I didn't see Big Girl Blitz at the store, so I will possibly pick that up a little bit later. If I can't see it, find it in the store, then I'll probably order that one because I'm excited to read that one as well. But yeah, for now, I just got Plus Size Player. So I'm going to give this one a go. Don't know when. Actually, I don't know when I'm going to read any of these books, but I got them. And I think my other sequel that I have from Barnes and Noble is Heartstopper Volume 6 by Alice Oseman. I am not ready to say goodbye to Nick and Charlie in the game. I'm not ready to say goodbye to them, but I know the story got to end at some point. But I have read and loved Charlie and Nick from for 5 volumes, and I am ready to jump into volume 6. So yeah, I'm very happy to have this in my hands. This one's quite a bit bigger than the rest of them, and I'm happy for it. It's like 430 something pages. And of course, this is the graphic novel, so it's going to have, plenty of pictures and also the dialogue as well. But I am so excited to read this. I don't want the story to end, but I am excited to read this. And I knew this was coming. I knew this was going to be the final volume because it says so in volume 5. But yeah, I'm excited. I just don't want it to end. But I don't know when I'm going to read this. Honestly, I don't know. I'll probably read this and then reread all the series back over again. But I'm so happy to have Heartstopper Volume 6. Last one I got from Barnes and Noble was Lost in Space by Rebecca Thorne. I don't know what this is about. I have no idea what this is about. This is the first in this series. I have absolutely no idea what this is about. The only thing that I know about this book is that it was written by Rebecca Thorne, and I absolutely loved what's it called? Tomes and Tea. I absolutely love that series by Rebecca Thorne, and I saw that this one had come out, and I just bought it because I love the other series, and I know I'm going to enjoy this. No rhyme or reason. I don't know what it's about. I didn't read the back of it. I just put it in my cart. That's pretty much it. Now today, I actually found some pretty cool looking books at Ollie's today. So the first one I have is The Sweet Spot by Amy Popel. I don't know how to correctly pronounce the last name, but I just saw this and wanted it. And I have The Coven by Harper L. Woods. I know this one's the first, and I think The Cursed follows this one. I didn't see The Cursed there, but I did see this one, so I decided to pick this one up. Then I have Banyan Moon by Theo Thai. I feel like I said both of those names wrong, but I have this one. I've seen this around, hadn't seen too many reviews on this, so I'm kind of sort of going into this one blind, honestly. I'm excited about Immortal. This one's by Sue Lynn Tan. She wrote Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I also found The Bletchley Riddle by Ruta Sepetys and Steve Shinkin. In the summer of 1940s, a 19-year-old named Jacob Novice and his younger sister Lizzie share a love of riddles and puzzles, and I thought that sound really cool. And I love a brother and sister or any kind of sibling dynamic I love in books. So I figured I would give this one a try. I have not read anything by these last two authors before, but I'm excited to give them a try. And the first one I saw was The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed. This copy, I was not expecting to see an edition like this at Ollie's. But I found it, and I found it for $4.99. Last book that I got was The Monster and the Last Blood Match by K.A. Lindy. I guess is how to pronounce that. Not quite sure. I think that this one's going to be a little bit on the like darker romance side. I don't know how I'm going to like mesh with that because I've read some darker romances before and really enjoyed them, and then others like I just cannot handle. And I end up getting rid of the books, like Game On by Nevessa Allen. I had read Lights Out and Caught Up, and I was like, oh, these are cool, these are nice, whatever. And I couldn't do Game On, and I just unhauled the whole trilogy. And I had been waiting for Game On to come out for so long, and I started reading it and I just couldn't handle it. And I had to get rid of the books. And for me, for my mental health and everything, I was like, you know what? It's okay to get rid of a book when it's not working for you. So I'm hoping this book is okay for me. If not, I will go ahead and close it, and I will try to find a little free library or something to put it in. But I'm at least going to try it. I'm going to try. But yeah, these two are definitely priorities for today. I am enjoying both, and I'm going to pick up both of these today. And yeah, I will update you a little bit later. Hello there. Happy Saturday. Yes, I said Saturday. And I know Summerween ended on Thursday, but here we are. But I did still finish some books for Summerween, and I wanted to give my Summerween wrap up. Prompt number one was to read a book in the dark or at night, and I picked The Mysterious Affair of Styles by Agatha Christie. I hadn't yet finished this book the last time I updated, I don't think. I think I was like on chapter 9, I think. So like 144 pages, but I have since finished it. I I almost got the killer right, almost, but I was only halfway right, so it don't really count. Prompt number 2 was to read a horror or thriller book, and I picked It's Not Her by Mary Kupika. I think this was the first one that I actually finished. I wasn't expecting the killer in this one at all, up until it was revealed, and then everything started to click and fall into place. Prompt number 3 was to read a book by a new to you author, and I actually picked up a debut book, Witch Queen Rising by Savannah Stevens. I i can't wait till the second one. This just did not feel like it was a debut novel at all. This feels like a seasoned writer. And I think I've said it already before, like in my review of this book, but I really enjoyed Witch Queen Rising. Prompt number 4. Prompt number 4, I didn't finish this. I picked Murder by Cheesecake by Rachel Ekstrom Courage. I have not finished this. I'm on page 51. I'm on page 51. Um, Yeah, I'm on page 51. Am I going to finish this? Yes. Yes, I am, because I do have this and the sequel to this that my mother-in-law got me for my birthday. But yeah, I have not finished it. Prompt number 5 was to read a book that is less than 250 pages. And if I'm not mistaken, when I started actually reading, I think I doubled up with this book. I think I did. But yes, The Mysterious Affair of Styles was under 250 pages. So still meets this. The only thing is I cannot remember um if I combine prompt number 1 and prompt number 5 with this book. I can't remember that. So hopefully editing me will be able to put something on the screen and like clarify. But again, enjoyed this book. Cannot wait to read another Agatha Christie book. I did finish this also during the week of Summerween, but this wasn't actually on my TBR. I still enjoyed this. so very much. I have finished Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Ibanez, followed by Written in Starlight by Isabel Ibanez. So books one and two in this series, which I don't actually know the name of this series, but I enjoyed these. This one significantly less. I I think my main problem with this one, I just didn't care for Catalina that much. And that's probably the reason why. I just didn't care for Catalina that much. I just didn't care for her as a character as much as I wanted to. I was just hoping to get a little bit more from her a bit sooner since this was her book. These kind of had like a darker setup anyway. I think both of these would have been great for initially putting on my Summerween TBR, but I just didn't know that they was gonna be like a little bit spooky like that. But nonetheless, I'm glad I read both of them, and I got two books by author that I've already enjoyed. I got two of those knocked off my TBR. So all in all, I think that's a win. I finally finished And So I Roar by Abby. I think Derry. I I'm still struggling with the name. Oh my gosh. This one was probably the most heartbreaking book that I have read this week. And I knew it. I knew it. I knew it was going to be this way. And I don't know why. I was just expecting this author to just take it easy on me, but she didn't. I just I don't know why I was thinking she was gonna take it easy on me. She didn't. I think that the way this book ended, it gives enough to set up for a third book in this same world. Um, whether it has the exact characters from this book or not, I think that it still sets up so well to give us a third book in this series because there's so many things that can be explored and like brought to light and all that with how this book came to a close. I definitely think that we could get some more answers and everything else if we have a third book in this series and following these characters. Like I said, I don't know if that's something that's in the works or not. Having the slightest idea. But I do know that I enjoyed this. And I can't say if I like The Girl with the Louding Voice or this one more. I enjoyed both of these, and I think I enjoyed both of these just in their own way because they gave me something new each time I read them. Like I got something brand new from The Girl with the Louding Voice that I hadn't read before. And then even though this is by the same author, I still got something new. And I don't know. I really enjoyed this and I cannot, I almost can't put it into words, but I really enjoyed this. And this broke me down and hurt my feelings and stumped all over my heart. But I still really enjoyed this book. Also, this week, I picked up Most Eligible by Isabel Engel. This is one of my book of the month club books from January of this year. So I wanted to go ahead and get this off my shelf if I was able to, and I was this week. This not spooky at all. This is actually about a pretty much a reporter who goes undercover at a like one of those dating shows, like the bachelor shows and stuff like that. This was fine. This was fine. And I just took a chance on this because one, it's a debut author. I have actually read like three debut authors in this vlog. One, two, three. Yeah. That look at me exploring some new authors. But anyway, but yeah, this is a debut author and I wanted to pick something up that was out of my comfort zone. I'm not a reality show girly. I'm not. And I I should have known that I wasn't going to love this. This book was okay. It was okay. And Um, yeah, I mean, I'm glad I read it, but it was okay. And the most recent book that I finished was Love Letters for Other People by this author. I don't know how to say this author's name, but I'm gonna try. Shaylin Gandhi. That's probably so wrong, but I really like this. Oh my gosh, I really like this. Nick and Aubrey, mainly Nick. Nick, I really enjoyed so very much. He was just, he cared about everybody else around him and didn't seek anything for himself. He took care of other people, or at least he tried his best to take care of everybody else around him and try to do right by them because he never had a father that took care of him. He loved his mother, but she was basically gone too soon. And he was left with his father who didn't care for him, didn't take care of him, and didn't care about him. And Nick vowed to never be the person that ended up just like that. Nick just vowed to not be like his father, and he proved that time and time again. But like I said, he just never really took care of himself. He never did anything for himself until Aubrey came back into his life. And Aubrey and Nick actually went to school together for a little bit before Aubrey went off to college and everything. And this second chance romance was it. I feel like it was just everything I needed this week. This one's like a true, like that true heartfelt, the characters have been through so much but they found their way to each other type of romance. It's this one right here. I really enjoyed this. Here is my stack of books that I read for Summerween slash this week. I'm extremely proud of making this much progress and getting this many books off my TBR. That's pretty incredible for a week. At least for me it is. I'm not the fastest reader unless I'm listening to something, but I have enjoyed so many books this week, so many new stories, new to me authors. It's just been a really good week reading wise, and I'm so excited to pick up more from so many of these authors. I had a really fun time this summer wing, and I can't wait to do it again next year. So yeah, thank you so much to Gabby for hosting this readathon. I think that's it for now. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Remember to take care of yourself. You are amazing. Bye bye.